Welcome back to Left, Right and Centre. The government's Ayush Ministry, which is an acronym for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, has published a booklet for pregnant women in the run-up to International Day for Yoga on the 21st of June. And this booklet has become the object of some controversy. Expecting mothers are advised by the ministry to detach themselves from desire, anger, attachment, hatred and lust, and also avoid bad company, be with good people in a stable and peaceful condition. Mothers are also asked to avoid eggs and other non-vegetarian items. Now, after that advice was widely criticized, even ridiculed, the ministry put out a clarification. One of the doctors involved in producing the booklet asserted that this was meant only to be a suggestion, not a prescription. He has also clarified that the booklet did not say anything about avoiding sex, as some reports had inferred.
I don't think there is any confusion. Nowhere we have written that you have to strictly avoid non-vegetarian food or something of that sort. You have written in one place that we have to avoid taking non-vegetarian food during the pregnancy. That's all. Regarding the sex issue, nowhere in this booklet you can read this or you can find this. Nowhere we have written that either sex should be avoided or it should not be done or something of that sort.
Joining us on the program tonight, Dr. Kaveri Banerjee, leading obstetrician and gynecologist, Ranjana Kumari, noted women's rights activist and director, Centre for Social Research. We're also being joined by Rahul Ishwar, political commentator, and J.S. Rajput, former director of the NCRT, continues to be with us. Dr. Kaveri Banerjee, why do you find this booklet problematic?
In some ways, because it's trying to emphasize on certain normal aspects of life, which science so far has not mentioned it to be of any problem during pregnancy, namely eating non-vegetarian food, having intercourse during pregnancy, and the kind of thoughts you have during pregnancy. However, I am sure in the later part of the discussion, I would like to highlight that these are two different schools of medicine.
Yes.
And even in allopathy there are grades of evidence.
Yes.
And the grades of evidence for sex, thoughts and non-vegetarian food is still GPP, means good practice guidelines. There is no strong grade A clinical evidence yet.
All right, fair point, and we'll try and get to that in a bit. But I want to bring in Rahul Ishwar at this point. Rahul Ishwar, medical practitioners like Dr. Banerjee feel that perhaps this is a misleading advisory. It could actually even affect the health of mothers and unborn babies. Now, it's been said that this was a suggestion, not a prescription at all, but then why have it at all?
Let us not have the rules of cricket while we are playing football. These are two different sports and two different templates. And please see, this is by Centre for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy, and these guidelines are on the paradigm of yoga and naturopathy, which is a totally different school of medicine other than allopathy. So people who are questioning the whole thing or ridiculing the whole thing, they are basing their thought on allopathy and English medicine, which we have highest of regards. But yoga and naturopathy, according to these systems of medicine, they are giving guidelines and advisories to pregnant mothers. This has been given in our land for millenniums altogether, and right now naturopathy, yoga and Ayurveda is being accepted worldwide too. So let us not confuse issue. Let us look at the context. Let us look at the text with a proper context and a subtext. We shouldn't confuse the issue.
Let us do that. Rahul Ishwar, let us do that. I'm going to read out from the booklet. This is the Ayush Ministry's booklet on mother and child care. This was prepared by the Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy, so that all our all our viewers are on the same page. This is a government-funded body, and that's asking women to stay away from desire, anger, attachment, hatred and lust, avoid bad company, hang good and beautiful pictures in their bedroom because this could affect the child also, do some self-study, have spiritual thoughts, read the life stories of great personalities, keep calm. Ranjana Kumari, would you say dispensing such advice in multicolored booklets, of course, is good utilization of taxpayers' money?
Well, let me tell you, Ankita, the context. The context is that we are having underweight children born. Women are suffering from protein deficiency and also iron deficiency. We also know that the women's life, the pregnant women's life is at threat because of all this, and also because of undernourished mother, the child is born underweight, and then eventually we are getting a population which is shorter in height and much unhealthy young people that we are getting around. None of them compete globally. They cannot compete in any major sport or anything that we are talking about. So this is the context. Now let me tell you the irrationality of it. I mean, how can anybody prescribe something? First of all, it is only to the women, pregnant women. What about the husband? What about the family? I mean, the good desire, the good life, the happiness, it doesn't come from just women. It comes from the environment, it comes from the family. What is the role going to be of the husband when a woman is pregnant? So it is such a sexist, patriarchal, thinking. And also, if this thinking was to be working, as Rahul Ishwar just now said that, it is our traditional medicine, then why it is that so many pregnant women in India, more than sub-Saharan Africa, Indian women are dying during childbirth. More than, and every second child is malnutrition in this country, and also children are born underweight. So why it is like this? If this was the practice and this is what it, so I think let them not impose all these mythological belief and irrationality on society.
Yes.
We should totally depend on scientific temper and think about things which really are hurting our population, our pregnant women, and not this kind of a mindless prescription. Since when bureaucrats and politicians have become doctors also? I mean, I don't understand what kind of prescription is this.
Okay, my
do they look at the population, what is happening to our pregnant women?
From them saying it's not a prescription but merely an advisory or a suggestion, so I suppose we have to take them at their word.
No, but why even this advisory?
Dr. Banerjee,
why
somebody
advisory?
going to a government clinic and getting a health brochure from them will pretty much follow instructions to a letter. I mean, do they have the wherewithal to realize whether this is in fact a prescription or an advisory?
Yeah, I think we need to take it with a lot of caution, because at least 60 to 70% of the Indian population is non-vegetarian. The whole of West Bengal, Kerala and parts of Telangana, even UP, Bihar are non-vegetarian, eating fish, chicken and eggs. So if this is a direction saying to go away from non-veg and go to veg, I think it has to be taken with a lot of caution. There is a rider to it that both vegetarian and non-vegetarian diet has to be fully supplemented and balanced for a healthy nutrition during pregnancy.
J.S. Rajput, there seems to be larger concerns, experts, rationalists, they're accusing sections of the BJP and associated right-wing groups of promoting unscientific theories in healthcare. One instance that comes to mind are these recent Garbh Sanskar clinics held by the RSS associated body, which talked about genetic engineering inside the womb, ways of getting Uttam Santati or a customized child, the perfect baby in a sense who will be tall and fair. I mean, this sounds like eugenics.
You see, I have a different perspective.
Okay, Rahul Ishwar, will come to you
All
in a
of
moment,
us
but
in
J.S.
schools,
Rajput, this was addressed to you.
in one of the skills that we teach in schools is the analytical skill. The children should learn how to discriminate, how to accept what is acceptable and how to reject what is to be rejected. Why do we expect that ministry will always do the intelligent things? They also are normal people. They can make mistakes. They can have their priorities wrong. My only point is that this is in the context of yoga. Those who are interested in this can read the booklet. They can reject whatever they want to reject. They can accept whatever to be rejected.
This is taxpayers' money. This is a government-run ministry. Why leave it then to the people to decide what is good for them? Then why have the booklet at all?
Ankita,
No. This is
Ankita,
not a
I
prescriptive.
want to say something to
Nobody
Professor
can
Rajput.
prescribe it. Now, let me complete my sentence. My sentence is, the government has been telling that they are not going to control food habits of anybody. Now, if they are controlling, let us point out, here you are going to control it, stop it. And they will have to stop it. After all, I personally feel there was no need for such a publication.
Yes.
They have better things to do. They have to manage better their institutions. They have to find their management. They have to see that their indigenous medicine systems are available to people. They are within the reach of people. There is so much more to be done. I think this is a case of wrong priorities. Some enthusiastic person who doesn't, who couldn't visualize what would be the implications might have indulged into publication of such a book, which to my mind should be left to people in the field of education, in the medicines,
Yes.
And ministries, particularly bureaucrats, I showed you the term civil servant as I pointed out.
Right.
This is something which has come under their signature. It should be avoided.
Yes.
There is no need for such a publication. I am very clear
Okay,
about it.
okay. You feel there's no need. Rahul Ishwar continues to insist that these are two schools of thought. We shouldn't judge Ayurveda or yoga by allopathic principles. Rahul Ishwar, I'm going to come back to you in a moment,
Just
but
a
Ranjana
quick
Kumari,
point.
quickly make your point.
No, I think I totally agree with Professor Rajput. I mean, what is the need for such a publication, first of all? And also, people like Professor Rajput are there to advise this government. Why to go for these, this mindless, unscientific, irrational, idiotic, I would say, to some extent. Because if somebody has to follow, I am a vegetarian.
How do you judge
follow
it is unscientific
vegetarianism,
and
it's your choice. You can't decide what should I eat. Now, this is getting beyond any limit, that what we must wear, where must we go, what a woman must, pregnant woman and not a pregnant woman,
Please don't
everything
politicize.
will have to be decided by Government of India. What is it? No, what politicize? Why did they come out with something like that, as idiotic as this kind of advice? I don't think any
Please
school
don't
of
politicize
thought
it, ma'am.
can, in a country where 70% of the population is no, because people are non-vegetarians. What kind of advice is this? You are ignoring most of the population in the country who will eat non-vegetarian food anyway. Bengalis, Keralites, Tamilians. I mean, think about any other population. And also, it's very Brahminical in his thinking to talk about everything which is against non-vegetarianism.
2 lines.
What kind of a thinking is this? You are imposing a particular kind
Madam,
of idea on rest of the population.
Okay, Madam, yes,
And
respond
also
to that.
about
Rahul
pregnant
Ishwar,
women,
respond to that.
Be very careful, because we are losing so many women during childbirth
Madam,
because
two-
of this kind of
These
a
are,
Madam,
thinking.
two
yes,
quick
these
lines
are
with
important
utmost-
issues that are being raised, Rahul Ishwar, given,
Ranjana
jokes
ji,
and
Ranjana
internet
ji,
humor aside, maternal
Ranjana ji.
mortality rates are abysmal in India.
Yes. Below
Ranjana ji,
700
the
Africa.
2 quick lines with humble, utmost humility and respect. The present government understand most of people of India. That's the reason why they are in power. So please let us not lecture anyone about the majority of people. Second, please remember, these are advisories
come on.
under yoga
Please,
and
Rahul, talk
naturopathy.
about-
That's the whole context
don't
of
have to
it.
show
And
your
Shodasha
loyalty on the
Kriya
program.
has been there in India
You
for
don't
past
have to show
thousands
your
of years.
loyalty on the
This is a
program,
part
Rahul.
of
You don't have
cultural
to-
context.
no.
See, please remember,
Rahul
don't show
Ishwar,
intolerance.
may I
At least
remind you of
don't
your
show
own
intolerance,
words a
madam.
minute ago.
At
You
least
said,
don't show
let's not
intolerance.
make this
Women are losing
political. I think
life
that's
because
exactly
of
what you're doing.
Malnutrition.
Okay, Kabini Banerjee,
Ma'am,
you had a point
please
to make, and
remember,
I'm going
at
to
least be fair. When she is making it political, when she is making it political, it is okay. When I am at least answering it, please listen. Just
Please
one thing.
don't
If there
show
is
your
a
loyalty on the
broader issue about
program, Rahul.
malnutrition, I
You
totally
don't have to
appreciate
show
that
your
point.
Okay, what is
But
your
let
response
Health Ministry come
on
out
the
with
matter of
it. This
malnutrition?
is not Health
Because when
Ministry.
you are talking about diet, then that
if the
there's an
government is
immediate
Ma'am,
correlation.
very true.
Government,
That's
what
a
are you trying to show
that's a
loyalty?
very that's a very important question. That is for Health Ministry to address. I concede that's a very important question, but that is for Health Ministry to address. This is Ayush. Their whole template and frame of reference is a different thing. Health Ministry should definitely
you
address
spread
malnutrition,
myth
which
in
is a very
society.
valid point.
You
Health
spread
Ministry
all
should
kinds of
definitely issue
myth, all
guidelines.
kinds of
But
Okay,
this
okay,
is
so
Ayush
ministries
Ministry.
can be
Please
divided
remember,
into,
this is Ayush.
bodies
Into it.
which, according to Rahul Ishwar, can give completely contradictory information, and it is up to the wise people of India to pick and choose. Dr. Banerjee, yes.
Now, from a completely apolitical and scientific approach, if we kind of study this guideline to give it due fairness and respect, we cannot completely set it aside by saying that it has no truth or no science behind it. Perhaps there are certain aspects that have passed on through generations, and modern day science is not able to go into. I have already said that even in modern day science there are grades of evidence.
Okay.
Maybe we need to study it further, and before we completely wash it away and say that it's not what it's worth it. But in today's scientific practice, in all the guidelines that we have been given in our MBBS, MD, MS, ICMR, there is no such rule to say that these three things, thoughts, diet or sex during pregnancy, will in any way affect the outcome of pregnancy. However, we also need to bring it midway and say that this is our, perhaps the Indian mythology, yoga, science. We cannot wash it away.
Okay.
We need to dwell more into it. The government should have given a rider that this is just a suggestion and not a recommendation.
Okay, fair point, and I think you've sort of encapsulated the debate there.
This is acceptable, and this is, I think, the best approach.
So we
should follow this approach, and I think they should bring out a revised version very soon.
All right, all right. So at least we have some agreement on this program, which is, you know, a rarity in these days. J.S. Rajput, Kaveri Banerjee, Rahul Ishwar and Ranjana Kumari, thank you for joining us on this discussion tonight.